Hey everyone! So when you're importing goods, you'd probably think the price you actually paid is what you'll get taxed on, right? Well, hang on, because it's not always quite that simple. For some products, customs uses a totally different number to figure out your tax bill, and that's exactly what we're going to break down today. I want you to imagine this for a second. You've negotiated an amazing price with your supplier, you've got the invoice to prove it, everything's looking good. But then your shipment lands, and the customs officials, they just take a quick look at your paperwork and pretty much toss it aside. They tell you they're going to be using their own price to calculate your import duties. So what on earth is going on here? Well, the answer comes down to this one little thing called tariff value. It's basically a preset price that the government fixes for certain specific goods. And here's the kicker. When a tariff value is in place, the actual price on your invoice becomes completely irrelevant for calculating those taxes. So what is this government price list really? Let's dive in and look at the official definition to see exactly how it works and why it's such a big deal for customs authorities. Okay, so a tariff value is a fixed, pre-decided value for a product you're importing. This number isn't based on your slick negotiation skills or what the market's doing. Nope, the government sets this value for one reason and one reason only: to be the base number for calculating customs duty. It completely, totally overrides the price you actually paid. Let's make this crystal clear. Your invoice value, that's the real price of your deal. It's what's on the bill from your seller. The tariff value, on the other hand, is the official, government-mandated price for your tax assessment. And if a tariff value exists for your product, your invoice value just doesn't matter for the duty calculation. The tariff value wins, every single time. Now, you're probably asking, why would a government even do this? Well, there are three main reasons. First, it's to fight under-invoicing. That's when importers might declare a super low price just to pay less tax. Second, it makes things uniform. Every single importer of that exact same good pays duty on the exact same value. And finally, for goods with really volatile prices, it helps keep the government's customs revenue stable. All right, Series 1 thing, but let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. We'll start with some common, high-volume stuff, like edible oils, brass scrap, and Areca nets. So here's a look at some of those official tariff values. As you can see, each of these products has a very specific value set in US dollars per metric ton. When these are in effect, these are the only numbers that customs is going to use. Let's run through a quick scenario. Let's say you import 10 metric tons of crude palm oil. You manage to strike a great deal, and your invoice is for a total of $9,800. That works out to $980 per ton. You might be thinking, great, that's the number I'll be taxed on. But that's not how it works. Customs is going to completely ignore your invoice and look at their official list. They'll take your 10 metric tons and multiply it by the tariff value of $1,066. All of a sudden, your dutiable value becomes $10,660. So even though you paid less, your tax is calculated on this higher, government-mandated amount. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about another category: precious metals. Gold and silver also have tariff values, but as you might guess, they come with their own unique rules, and importantly, different units of measurement. You have to notice the critical difference in the units here. For gold, the tariff value is set at $1,605 per 10 grams. But for silver, it's $2,552 per kilogram. This little detail is absolutely essential to get the calculation right. So let's say you're importing 1 kilogram of gold bars. Since the tariff value is based on 10-gram units, the first thing customs does is divide your 1,000 grams by 10. That gives them 100 units. Then they multiply those 100 units by the tariff value of $1,605. This makes your dutiable value a whopping $160,500, regardless of what you actually paid for it. And of course, there are some really important exceptions. These tariff values apply to things like gold bars and very high purity coins. But, and this is a big but, they do not apply to finished jewelry, foreign currency coins, or other silver articles. Knowing exactly what is and isn't covered is crucial for any importer in this business. Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how with a couple of really detailed examples. So what are the most critical points you need to remember from all of this? Here's the bottom line. First, tariff values are mandatory. They're not optional. Second, your invoice can be and will be completely disregarded for calculating duty. Third, this whole system usually targets sensitive goods that are prone to price swings or undervaluation. And finally, always remember that these values are set by official notifications, and they can change, so you have to check the latest regulations. At the end of the day, tariff values are a really powerful tool for governments to control and stabilize their customs revenue. Which leads to the big question, right? As more countries start to adopt this model for more and more types of goods, how is that going to force importers to completely rethink their sourcing, their pricing, and their global trade strategies? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.